Every day we've been wondering and worrying, is there a chance Nintendo doesn't have a show? It has been bothering my brain every night. Like, what if Nintendo actually doesn't do it? No one said they had to. They've never committed to it. What if they don't? It's a sucky thought, right? Well, thank goodness I'm here because I am bringing you a breaking rumor that I have verified myself, and I think you're gonna really like it. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. I rarely ever do this, so you know I am super confident. We're talking like 99.9% confident in this, and I'm going to let you in on my little secret. All right, so let me know what you think in the comments down below. Nintendo has held a June Direct every year except 2020 because that was the big start of the pandemic and everybody was thrown away, of course. But in the past years, it's always this third week of June, all right? In 2021, it was on June 15th. And on 2020, they didn't have it. 2019, though, it was back on June 11th. In 2018, it was on June the 12th. And back in 2017, it was on June the 13th. Precedent says that it always happens around that time, but without an E3 show floor, without a central hub, there's no reason Nintendo has to follow that protocol. But Nintendo is a creature of habit. And after tonight's Mario Kart maintenance yielded no announcement. Remember we talked about earlier in the day, like there's Mario Kart maintenance tonight. What if they surprise drop Course Booster Pack 2? But they didn't. They just did the maintenance, and it seems like that is to prep the waters for a reveal at the Direct. It's a very likely outcome. Show off the new courses at the Direct. It's June. It's about time for Wave 2. And then we also have Mario Strikers Battle League releasing at the end of the week. Now, in the past, Nintendo has had games released before E3, games released after E3, but it would be weird to have Nintendo have a game released like during their Direct. So a lot of people have predicted that the Direct would be this week, and the Mario Kart maintenance this morning kind of was like, okay, that drum is beaten. Maybe it happens. Maybe. But now that Mario Kart maintenance has yielded nothing, I mean, something behind the scenes, but we don't have any results yet, and because Strikers Battle League is coming out, and there's no way I think Nintendo wants to shift focus from that big release to all these other releases. Like, you kind of got to get that out of the way before you go ham on the other stuff. And I've held to that in every video. I've said, I don't think it's this week. I think it is the week of June the 13th, which is starting next week. Now, to get more detail into what I now know, I'm going to tell you that with confidence, I can say that Nintendo is having a show in June, and their show is next week. Now, I can't tell you where I got it from, and I can't tell you the exact specific details of why I'm sure this is true, but just know that I don't say this very often, and so I feel very good enough to make a video and tell you I feel very good about this, and it does line up. So even if you think I'm crazy, I'm giving you other pieces of evidence to sort of back it up. It might not be 15 pieces of evidence, but it's quite a bit of evidence. And next week should be a large showcase. Now, we know Nintendo devotes a lot of time to these directs, and so I'm anticipating it to be anywhere in the 40 to 50 minute range. That's typically what we see from these presentations, these summer showcases, and your guess is as good as mine of what they devote that time to. I'm on record as saying I do not believe Breath of the Wild 2 will be a significant or really any part of this show. I think it's too early, too far off, and I think the September Direct or a specific Zelda Direct is where we'll find out the big shebang about that game, and maybe even Jeff Keighley's Game Awards. Definitely not his Summer Game Fest, although he does claim to have some Nintendo Switch exclusives there. I don't know what that could be, but they're probably going to be smaller titles, I would guess, I would imagine. Anyhow, Nintendo will probably emphasize some of the games that they've already announced, such as Splatoon 3, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, maybe Fire Emblem 3 Hopes, because that's still to come at the end of the month, but there will be a substantial portion of the show dedicated to the new and the unknown. Look, Nintendo is not going to leave you wondering what's beyond this year for much longer. Every year they've really kind of laid the groundwork for what's out there in the future. And right now we know of two things for Nintendo. Well, three if you count Metroid Prime 4, but I still, and everyone else still thinks that is way far off, too far for Nintendo to really focus in on. But we know about Breath of the Wild 2, that they're targeting spring 2023, could easily get delayed, could easily get pushed back, don't know, but sometime next year. And then the Mario movie. That is about it. We're not aware of what's beyond that. I mean, on those investor sheets, it always says Bayonetta 2, Zelda sequel to Breath of the Wild, and Metroid Prime 4, and that's all we have. Everything else has come out. Splatoon 3 is about to come out. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is about to come out. Mario Strikers, Fire Emblem, about to come out, and Bayonetta should be out this fall as well. Scarlet and Violet, we know those are coming, but what is the next wave? There's obviously gaps and spaces for Nintendo this fall. A lot of opportunity for them to discuss some things in August and October and December. And I think there's going to be more wild cards in Nintendo's show this year than maybe we're ready for. I hope that is the case. I hope that they deliver some things that people couldn't quite predict. And no, I'm not talking about 1-2 Switch. We're predicting that. We're kind of sad about it. And it's kind of just swallow it and accept it. But this show should be very strong. Scarlet Violet is out of the way. Okay, we know that Mario Strikers is coming out. The Mario Kart stuff will probably be a part of the show, but there's opportunities for Switch Online, opportunities for new systems like the Game Boy Advance, opportunities for more N64 games, and opportunities for leaks we've already heard about to pan out. Now, in the coming days, we'll see more and more leaks, and I will definitely keep you up to date on those, but thus far, GoldenEye seems like a lock to drop at some point in the next 7 to 10 days. And then we also have seen a leak about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge hitting next week. And then we also have a leak about a new Crash Bandicoot game that we know Activision Blizzard would love to have Toys for Bob put onto Nintendo Switch. The series has sold incredibly well on the Switch, and it makes sense. Even with the Microsoft acquisition, one, that's not locked in yet, and two, they've already said that they want to keep property that are relevant on relevant consoles, aka Crash on Switch. So that's already some good stuff. And then Keighley's show, the Summer Game Fest, is Thursday. That should divulge more about some of these Switch games that maybe are third party or indie, things of that sort. And then Devolve is on my mind because the Devolver show should also have some Nintendo details, but the best will be saved for last. And Keighley himself said that this morning. When he talked about tempering expectations and adjusting accordingly, he said the biggest stuff is saved for Microsoft and Nintendo themselves. That's the way it's gonna be, that's the way it's always been, and that's the way it's gotta be to make that show the biggest. And I feel like this year, with no E3 to kind of hold it all together, Jeff is doing his best, Microsoft Bethesda have their show. I think the Nintendo one is by far the biggest, the most exciting, and has the potential for 2022 implications as opposed to 3, 4, 5, you know what I mean? So next week will be a very great week, and I am very excited to share it with you. If I get any more corroborating information or have any more details to share, I will fill you in. But yeah, there is a direct next week. I am very, very sure of it. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Let me know what day you think it's going to be. I gave you sort of the past precedent. There's been June 11th, June 13th, all over the place, okay? Gave you some evidence to look at. Maybe you can sort of sleuth through the video and see if you can pinpoint, kind of try to drop some hints around in there. Anyhow, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hit that like button if you're excited. I am so pumped. This is the best day of the year for me, and glad we get to share it together. So until next time, thanks so much. Have a great night. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. SwitchForce out.